So the next thing we're going to do is hide the straw the first time around. So you can all do this. If you put it on too thick, it'll fall off. Are you discovering that? Mm-hmm. We're going to do chicken wire on this, which you don't have to do. We're kind of thinking that we're going to do that for the road bumps.
Not 2619, that from the Burns Hospital. All those cuts they've made, I slowed down to like 20 for each one of them. That was not popular.
All right, so I like to try all kinds of things. So let's see what a sponge does. Here, Ann, try a sponge. Just from the bottom up, just lightly.
Good.
Now does this get pressed in?
Yeah, pressed in and we're going to do another coat. And I imagine that he should probably cut down like this and then fold it in. It was in the last oven, and we're going to put it in this one. It's only because it's portable. You don't. Okay. It's just we built this thing like 15 years ago, and there weren't any books then, and except the bread ovens of Quebec, and so we just kind of thought about different ways of making it portable. We don't necessarily have to wire everything. Let me give you a couple of little ones here. Is that good over there?
Yeah. Just making sure it's still in the bottom.
All right, I think we can start piling stuff on again. Okay, make sure you push that in so it's getting beyond the wire. You know, through the wire and onto the its neighbor. Yeah.
Way to clay.
Got it.
That's it.
That throwing really works, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Man, you can
Yeah.
5 foot back.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. They'd like it too.
You know, I like this effect.
They'd be warm.
That would be warm.
They'd be cool.
They'd be warm, they'd be cool.
Yep. And if you put chicken wire in there, the rats would have a hell of a time.
When you have a bed of ashes and coals on your floor, it insulates the floor from the fire. So you want something that burns very quickly and doesn't leave any coals so that you can just get that ash out of there.
So you don't burn with the fire, you don't cook with the fire going in there.
You could. It would be back to one corner. Okay, it's finishing touches. Probably if Patrick wanted a really smooth, tight surface, he'd wait until tomorrow, till all the clay turned really leathery, so he could press something into it. Otherwise, probably the best thing you could do to make it look good
Sponge it. That's probably good enough.
is sponge it.
You don't want it to look too good or it won't impress people enough. They'll think we bought it. Yeah. You know? We want to be sure they knew we made it. You know? This did not come from the catalog. We didn't get this on eBay or Amazon. We'll do that.
Clay is wonderful, it really is. This architect that I work for over there has made a clay sink out of clay, unfired clay sink. To do it, you have to take like the end of a pencil and just compact the clay so much, and you can make anything with clay. It's all about compression.
Okay.
You know, it's like the old Roman concrete and stuff like that. You just get the right stuff and.
Well, you compact the farm soil too much and the water won't.
Yeah. So you see how much we only needed like 2/3 of a bale of straw, so we did that right. There's enough.
About half as much sand, really. About a yard and a half.
Could probably do it on a yard, maybe.
How much clay did you say?
The mistake was that he was the person that was supposed to be doing the tarps, too.
How much clay? 1,000 pounds? 800 pounds?
A yard.
I would say it was about 2 wheelbarrows on the first batch and 1 on the second. Let's just say 3 wheelbarrows, which is
A yard. basically.
a
it's not
yard?
two-thirds
No,
of a
no,
yard, two-thirds of a
no.
yard. 18 cubic feet, right? Aren't these
Wheelbarrow.
6 cubic foot wheelbarrows, aren't they?
What are they?
6 cubic feet.
6 cubic feet?
Yeah. Of course, it wasn't full, so they're probably more like 5.
Okay,
So
so
the burrow was over the top.
Okay, so then
So
18 cubic feet. Which
total
is
18.
3/4 of a yard.
yep, and about a yard and a half of sand, maybe. Maybe.
Some of that's coming out. I mean, you get to use that sand again. You know, the mound is coming out.
And then 2/3 of a bale of straw.
Your brick floor.
Brick floor, like 30 fire brick for the floor.
So I don't know if we need to do a demo of the brick floor at this time of day, but do you want to talk about it? About what the laying the floor technique is?
Yeah, sure. Just get a few bricks
Yeah,
here.
Right.
So in laying your brick floor, essentially you'll start at one side and you lay a brick and there's a mortar joint under it, of course. And then you go to the opposite side and lay another one and run your level across. So that's 2, so here and here. And then you would go back here and lay a brick and lay a brick and level all 4 brick. Make sure they're all level. And then you would just fill in between. So essentially when you lay a brick,
Use more when you're laying this floor, right?
yeah, I would use a little bit. Another technique is to screed, you know, like establish, put 2 pieces of wood down, fill it with mortar, and then drag a board over it. And that would be perfectly level. Then you would just take your bricks and just set them in there, and they should be level. The way a mason does it is we furrow and then we set it in the furrow, and then you get out your level. Probably the easiest thing for everybody to do would be to set up 2 guides, spread the mud down, and drag a straight board. Because this does require some hand and eye skill and something like that. So that's essentially how we put down brick. Now, in talking about a screed, you would take 2 boards, you would have your platform, be it metal, block, whatever. I mean, when you do masonry, you're essentially leveling as you go, so your surface that you're working off of is level. You can also lay your block and then form and level your form and then pour concrete in there, and that'll be level. And then what you would do is you would just, once you establish a perfectly level surface, you just set your brick down in it with no mortar at all, really. You can just put them all down, then right on top of it, put your fire brick, that banding. Breaking in the oven, so you would dig the sand out after a couple of days, and you would go inside with clay and smooth the inside, brush it down, scrape it, sponge it, whatever you can do to make it look nice and very compacted like the outside. And then I would just take my time, small fires, small hot fires, several of them. You're going to be able to tell when it's when it's dry, actually, because the color will change. This part of the oven will dry first, and the back will be the last to dry. And you'll be able to observe the migration of the moisture because of the color. So build small, hot fires of short duration, maybe 2 a day, and increase the wood each time for a couple of weeks. You'll be able to tell when it's dry. It's going to take, could take a month. Depends on also the atmosphere, time of year, how much wind is blowing. But imagine 100 gallons of water. You think it took 100 gallons of water to make this? Maybe that, or maybe more. I don't know. They're 5-gallon buckets. We probably did 20, 25 of them. So there's a lot of water in there. In fact, it's probably, as far as weight goes, it's probably 30% water now. Any moisture in the oven will definitely affect the cooking. So you don't want to make steam and try to bake, because the steam, of course, only reaches 220 and then or 212, and then it condenses. So, and that condensation will not allow your heat accumulation. So I would say a couple of weeks, but you've got to take into consideration the environment, what's going on with the atmosphere. Any other questions?
Sunshine, dry?
Sunshine will dry it. Black plastic, but ventilation. Probably the best thing to do would be to set something over the top of it and allow the air to move over it. Patrick said he's going to put plastic on it, but anytime you put plastic on it, you're basically preventing the moisture to stay inside. So, yeah, it should be well ventilated. I don't know about what direct sun would do to the exposure. Then the last thing is that as you fire it, it will probably develop some cracking, possibly some cracking. So you always want to have some extra clay handy. You fill those cracks. You just fill those cracks.
So I had our friend and co-worker at times, Baron Brown, weld bracing all around it, and then Tom came and backfilled that right up against it. So now it can't move. You know, it's just stuck where it has to be.